Welcome back to Chiefs Fans Before We Were Cool, a Brother Wonders podcast. What have you been wondering about today, recently?
Oh, I mean, we had some. There was a sick kid today. Well, last night. So that, and then I had to go to the dentist. I've had a really bad few weeks uh experience with the dentist. So
Those are not that's not the place you want to have bad experiences. That's what, did they mess
no.
up or something? Or,
So so they recommend like I had like my inspection and based off of like where the cavity was at, they recommended that I had the tooth ground down and put a crown on it. I'm
Hmm,
guessing it was just a place that was hard to fill. I don't really understand fully. But it was like expensive too, even
right,
with insurance. And so I was like, well, I should probably do it because the risk of it was, hey, if we get this fixed, it could turn into a root canal, and you don't want to have a root canal because that's even more.
right.
So, so anyway, I went in, had it done, they grind it down, and they put like a temporary on there because then they have to like send in the mold and
Hmm,
have it made, and then you come in and they have it put in. And then I was just having terrible pain, like I was having to take multiple ibuprofens every day. So like that happened. Like I went in Thursday, they weren't, and then not open Friday, or I went in Wednesday. I think they went in Wednesday, and then I was like, I'm hitting on my teeth, so I went in Thursday, and based off of the timing, I have to leave early to do this, and so then they ground it down a little bit, and then the next time, but then I was still having pain. So when I came in again, they're like, "Hey, we think you might need to have a root canal because you're having this much pain on the tooth." And then
yeah,
the dentist was like, "Well, actually, it looks like you're hitting. This is a different dentist, same place, but a different dentist." It's like, actually, it looks like you're hitting on that. So I think that might be what's really irritating your tooth. Like, I don't, based off of what I'm seeing, I don't think that you necessarily need a root canal. I don't want to do a root canal if you don't need it, which I'm thankful for. So he ground it down more and said, let's wait to put the cap on. So even though they had it in, they didn't want to put the one on until we waited. So anyway, I came back a week later. It was a lot better. So that was good. And they put the cap on, or like the crown on that they had
hmm,
made and tried to get it down. So they have to nub me up in order to pull the temporary off to then put this one on. And then it's hitting really badly, like significantly. And so he's trying to grind it off and then it breaks. It's in my mouth and it tells me to bite down on it and it breaks because the first dentist did not make it thick enough, essentially. Like they didn't grind off enough of it so that because they have to be a certain thickness for them to work, the crowns themselves, which is why it was made too tall, was because anyway, so it broke. And so then I have to come back like a week and a half later when the new crown comes back, they had to put a new temporary on. Come back then, they numb me up, they pull the temporary off, and they go to put it on. They take their X-rays and everything to see if it fit right because they want to make sure it fits right before they glue it on and everything. This crown was messed up by the factory, so they had to put on a new temporary. And then I went in today and they took off this one, and then this last one they put it on and just like glued it on so it wasn't super tight. And so then I was able to today they didn't have to nut me off. They were able to pop it off and put the new one on. And so far it's been okay, but I'm having a lot of sensitivity with the tooth, so we'll see how it goes from there. So not that this is a dentistry podcast, but I had one of the worst dentist experiences of my life. This has been like 6 weeks at this point since I
When
started this
will
process.
dentists figure out how to do their jobs? No
Yeah,
offense.
yeah.
Or dentist
Well,
factories, I guess, and all the shoes. Man, that's rough, man. That's really rough. Feel like at that point you're
I
starting to get to know your dentist. Like, are you like friends? You gonna go
he's a
play like disc golf with them?
great guy.
Great guy.
Great guy. Terrible experience.
Yeah,
Would
I'd
not
like to.
recommend. 0 out of 5 stars as far as the overall experience.
Yeah.
I hate going in there and getting shots, and it makes me super anxious and jittery
Yeah.
when I get that stuff.
Mm.
And the last couple times it made me like feel sick. It was just terrible.
Oof.
I hate it. So
And just
anyway,
especially again and again and again and again,
yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, so if I'm like extra grumpy, just know it's because my jaw hurts
Oh,
because
that's
I had
rough.
that put in once again. And anyway, so what were you
Mhm.
wondering about?
Oh, so many things. My issues have I keep wondering like why I can't get ahead on stuff. Like, and I keep coming home to do stuff and then having weird things happen. Like yesterday, it was a garage opener, just like messed up. I had to reset it, but it wouldn't open, and then I had to like go in and then like reset, reconnect, re-download the app. And, of course, I tried to do things with it for a while before that, and it just wasn't being consistent. And then today, I was I was rocking. I was like, I got home, I got ready to go out to the playground with my little dude, and I'm like, I made some coffee while I have little guy making the coffee with me. So he's got the little like he's pouring in the coffee beans and then I put in the cold water because I usually do the
Hmm.
cold brew. So he's working with me and while he's doing that, I'm doing a couple dishes and it's working great. And I'm like, all right, and it's so good. And I'm like, I get the coffee, I'm putting it in the fridge, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna go out, and I put it in the fridge, and the little cork pops out of the bottom of the coffee thing, and the coffee starts pouring into my fridge, um, and making a mess.
I'm trying to imagine this. There's a cork in the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Is it just for like when you're ready to so
Yep.
it sits in the
So then
container for
sits in the
18 hours or
container
whatever?
for whatever. You pull the
Okay.
cork out and then let it drain into your container. So the cork, I overfilled it a little bit, and I guess that's why you don't overfill it. I was like, last time it wasn't an issue. This time it was. And the thing that like kind of ruined my whole night, there was coffee that got in the glass shelf, and depending on the fridge you have, like this one, it's a pain to get the glass pane out. Like you have to like pull off some trim, but I wasn't sure if that's what I was supposed to do. And I kept looking at YouTube videos, and there are all these other models.
Yeah.
Like I went through like three other models. Before, they're like, oh, there's just this clip at the bottom, and you're just like, there's no clip. Like, am I crazy? And so like eventually I figured it out, and just kind of had to like, you know pop out the glass a little bit, which freaked me out. I mean, I don't want to break the glass, obviously. It's like a
Yeah.
new fridge and stuff. So anyway, so not a refrigerator or a
Th-
dentist podcast, but a good time.
Hey, our listeners want to know about our backstories and our
Yeah,
lives.
yeah, it's
Someday,
really
someday we'll have to get into our childhood and our upbringing, what shaped us to be the men we are today.
absolutely.
But
What seeds were planted in our childhood that led us to be the Chiefs fans we are?
yes.
And on that note, let's talk about the Chiefs. Um, I thought we'd do something a little different today, and
Okay.
we're gonna go AI. We're gonna go into the future AI questions.
Oh, AI
So-
questions. Oh, we already have the AI like
Oh,
screen for the YouTube, but
yeah,
now we're
yeah,
going
yeah, yeah.
questions. All right.
We're gonna have the AI questions. Yeah, this is basically this whole podcast is AI, in case you were wondering. I'm just kidding. It's not.
Yes, we are also
Yeah. I had some students look at a
artificial.
photo and just like start yelling at the photo that it was AI and it couldn't be real and whatever, whatever. And they
It's
might be
getting
right.
it's getting ridiculously hard to tell, unfortunately, which is, I mean, yeah, there's definitely like some things that sometimes it's obvious, but there's a lot of times where it's like just looks maybe just a little off, but it's not like obvious unless you're looking for it.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Yeah. Well, we're gonna just do the AI search for questions. So is the pass rush, particularly Chris Jones, performing at a high enough level? Can the team find more consistent production from the defensive line beyond Jones? And is the scheming limiting their options?
mm, good job, AI. Good job stealing
It's
somebody
kind of
else's question and sending it to us.
it's a long,
Um,
long question, but
yeah. Um, I mean, right now, no, they're not. They're not getting enough pressure. Like I'm pretty sure that our cover unit's been ranking pretty well, but our pass rush has been pretty bad. Like I think our pass protection or whatever is not like too far off from like Denver and stuff as far as like what we've been rating, which, those ratings are always subjective to a certain extent.
Right.
But when they have extra time, when you give an extra second, someone's way more likely to get open. And so I think the short answer is no, they haven't done enough. Can they improve? Possibly. I heard a report that we were going after a defensive edge and Seattle, I think, and they ended up just backing out of it, so we didn't end up getting that player, unfortunately. But kind of a bummer. The Eagles got a defensive, was it an edge or was it, I don't know,
Yeah, Jalen Phillips.
Phillips? Yeah, kind of wish we would have gotten a player like him. Could have made a big difference. But where we are, where we're at, we also didn't get a. We'll leave that for another time. That's a different question. What's your thoughts on the
I mean,
question?
I think we kind of talked about it. It would have been one of the great additions or, place of need for sure. It kind of is what it is. Like you said, I think it's we're trusting in specs we trust, and maybe we're putting a little too much trust in specs. But that's kind of how it works in a dynasty. There's certain times where you just have to trust Mahomes. Mahomes has to go superhero and make it work with terrible receivers, and we've seen that happen. And sometimes you have to make your defense work when you really don't have a good pass rush and your defensive ends didn't work out. And, we have Karlaftis and we have Chris Jones, and Chris Jones hasn't been superhero, but he's getting doubled every time. And so it's like, it's maybe getting to the point where he can't consistently beat double teams. And that's probably okay or fair, when you're 30 plus. So,
Yeah,
um,
he gets paid a lot of money,
he does get paid a
which
lot of
makes
money to beat
makes
double
it hard.
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are the kinds of things I think about with the defensive end, but 100%, yeah, the coverage is good. The defensive line, not as good rushing four. And that can be the difference in a game, right? When they can rush four, right? And that's what the Bills were able to do, and we weren't. That's a pretty serious issue. So,
Yeah.
um, let's see. I don't like all the questions. Yeah, so one of the other questions here, and I think this leads into what you're, kind of hinting at, is the team's running back situation sufficient for our needs? Is there a need for more dynamic play from the position?
Um, so obviously there is a lot of reports came out that we were trying to trade for Brees Hall, and they wanted a third, and we wanted to give them a fourth, and they couldn't, and they stood their ground, and we stood our, and we never came to an agreement. Um, I get it from both points of view because getting a third from the Chiefs is, or getting a fourth from the Chiefs, it's closer going to be, in theory. I guess we don't know what the year's going to hold, but there's a good chance it'll be closer to uh, a fifth, right? Like we tend to be at the end, and so giving up a third, it's like, well, you're giving at end of the third, getting of the fourth, and so I understand where they're coming from. Um, but also giving up a third is hard for a half year rental unless we give him a give him a long-term contract.
Right.
So like because we can just wait this year out, and if they don't give him a contract, then we can potentially sign him like they're so in a lot of ways the trade value is just for this half of a year. Because if he wants out, like he said he wants out, then he's not going to re-sign with them. He's going to be looking for a new place to go anyway. So
Yeah.
uh, I get it from both points of view. On the other hand, it's like, well, if you get a half year rental that helps you win the Super Bowl, then it's worth it. Like,
Right.
um, so I I don't hate it that we didn't do it. I wouldn't have hated it if we did do it either. Like I don't know. It's kind of right at that tipping point for me where I could go either way. Seems like a little much, but also I could see the value in it.
Yeah. Well, Brett Veach held his ground. He's kind of been pretty good. And that's kind of what you want in a GM, right? You don't want him to be like, oh, I guess we'll do a third. It's fine. I think the Chiefs really value picks within the first 100 picks, um, pretty significantly, and then anything after that, they'll play around with. They're not as tied to those players. And so I think there might have been kind of that's part of the line. A third round pick is going to be there. Also for them, like if Breece Hall leaves, he's been their starting running back. Well, they'll probably get a compensatory pick depending, it's not like the Jets are going to sign a bunch of people. So chances of them making big splash signings. Anyway, so like for the Jets, it makes sense for them to not because they might get the better value letting him walk in terms of the formula. Probably not, but maybe, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was
I don't
a
know enough.
thought I had made. What was different about Breece Hall versus the other players they traded, like Sauce Gardner and stuff, is um, when you're getting a fourth, it's kind of close to that compensatory pick options and range and stuff, and so. Um, and I mean, how sad would the Jets be? They lost Garrett Wilson for a few weeks now. Like no Brees Hall. Just Justin Fields throwing for 50 yards a game.
I'm glad to be a Chiefs fan. I'm glad
Glad to be feet. We
even
feel for you, Jets fans,
even 15 years ago, I think I'd been glad to be a Chiefs fan over a Jets fan. They've had a rough go of things for a long time.
for a long time. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think that trade, I agree with most of what you're saying. Like, it kind of made sense for both people. I'm not too mad. It's kind of on that line. When you're a dynasty, you have to make tough decisions.
Yeah,
And could Brees Hall been the tipping point? Maybe. He's such a good receiving back. He's a more complete back. Man, he's electric. He's on the Jets and he's like getting huge, runs and all this other stuff. Um,
yeah. He could have been a
but
big difference maker. And I think that the different, like, if the Chiefs were like, we want him long term, I think then, yeah, it makes sense to take the pick. If they're like, well, we're not sure, then yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, depends on kind of
yeah,
how they feel about him.
yeah, we're pretty far over the cap next year. I mean, Mahomes is like currently at 71 million for next year, so they'll restructure that. Um, but like we're one of the highest teams over the cap right now, so that could also be factoring it. As much as I think running back might actually be a value at this point, depending on what if Brees Hall is like wanting like Saquon money, which is like 20 million, then no. If he's going for like if he's going to get like 13 million or something, 12 million, because he hasn't done as much, then maybe. The other thing, man, if he's on the Chiefs and we win Super Bowl. That might make him more expensive in free agency, right? Like maybe he's
Yeah.
being held back by his kind of bad teams,
Yeah.
very bad team. But yeah,
Well, if I were him, hit the market, see how much you can get. Like
yeah,
I know there's a sense that like everybody's different as far as like if they want to win, just win if that's more important or making the most money. But he's been on a really bad team for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if he's just like not very loyal to any team. Like I just want money.
you
So
should,
he
especially the
might just
running back. Like
yeah, you don't have
they
many
don't la-
years.
they don't last nearly as long as receivers or other positions. So yeah, that contract's super important, and he needs to cash in and should cash in. So probably won't be with the Chiefs. Oh well, um, that is how it is. But yeah. Any So we had a bye weekend. Was there any game that you liked watching that was really fun?
Um,
Maybe one you sat down with your wife.
that game wasn't as fun. It was enjoyable to sit with my wife. I did not watch very much football. I guess I was back for most of Sunday, but I
Yeah,
had just come off of a weekend uh, in Kansas City with some friends, which there was no Chiefs game in Kansas City. Like, what were we doing planning it that weekend? But yeah, we had a good time there, and so I got back and limited time to spend with the family since I was gone all weekend, so I didn't Didn't watch a lot of football. I kept up with the games just with the red zone and whatnot. But um, I don't think I really watched any of the games like very specifically. Um, trying to remember some of those games. I feel like there was one that I picked up on, but I can't think of it right now. Obviously, the biggest shocker was the Bills uh, losing.
Losing, getting
What did you think
destroyed by
about that?
Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know, man. I don't know. You just you never know with this team sometimes. Like,
I
yeah,
watched
they weren't.
the end of the Texans game. That was one I watched some
Yeah,
of.
yeah. I didn't honestly watch that many games either. They weren't very exciting. Monday, I was kind of joking about Monday Night Football. That was terrible.
Hmm.
Like mostly blowouts in the afternoon. The morning games were kind of fun, or sorry, not the morning, like the 12 o'clock games. Um, and then I wasn't really watching it, but the Falcons Colts game in the morning was crazy. So
Yep.
yeah, just it was not really the best fantasy, best real life football games. Nothing crazy. Nothing like, the Bears Bengals game. Man, that was so fun a couple weeks
I,
ago.
I mean, the Bears had another close comeback one though.
Yeah, they
Bears have
did.
Bears have been squeaking by. Granted, I think some of that was just because Dart got hurt, and so Russell
Yeah.
Wilson was playing.
Yeah,
Um,
James Winston's supposed to play this week.
I know I saw that.
Crazy
Load,
stuff.
yeah, load up on those New York receivers. You know he's going to be slinging it. Interception or completion, it's going to be up in the air.
It's gonna be up in the air. He's gonna have a good time.
Man, if the James Winston's, you imagine how fun every game would be. It's like I literally it could be it could go either way. It could be 70-yard completion bombs down the field and pick sixes left and right. Like it's kind of fun to watch those games.
Fun to play it. Be pretty cool. Yeah, so we'll kind of see there. But yeah, the Chiefs are coming up on this pretty important game at this point, right? We talked last time we're out of the playoffs. So currently standing wise. Um
I think this is about as important as a game can be in
yeah,
midish season.
yeah,
This is as close to a must-win as it can be because if at the Chiefs, obviously there's technically a chance, but they're not winning the division at that point,
right.
realistically. So now they're hoping for a wild card. Um, and I mean, even that's going to be somewhat difficult because if you lose to them this time, you have to play. We already lost the Chargers once. We have to play them again. Like, I mean, we don't have an easy schedule. Play the Colts.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty huge game.
Yeah, and we'll see kind of goes. Denver's defense has been great. Their offense has been kind of hot and cold. I had an argument with a coworker about whether Bo Nix is the real deal. Coworkers convinced Bo Nix is the real deal. I'm not.
I'm also not. I don't think he's. I don't see how you can. I haven't watched a lot of Broncos games, so I shouldn't say that. Um, but I do watch commentaries about the different games and stuff based off of non like other people's points of view, which are not which are more objective than mine. I mean, obviously I'm a Chiefs fan, so I'll probably be at least a little bit skewed. Like
Yeah,
Bo Nix just hasn't been playing real great. Like he's been playing not like terrible, but not great, not very good. Like you, not someone that you'd want to build a franchise about around. Um, he has not really improved from last year. Uh, If anything, it feels like he's playing a little worse than last year. Like that's not what you want. I don't. Yeah,
yeah. I mean that's kind of normal too. I mean rookie quarterbacks. sophomore slump. Like
Yeah.
we've seen things like I think CJ Stroud is really good, and he's just had bad O line and stuff. But
Hmm.
he hit a sophomore slump because people figured him out, and also the O line has just been terrible for the
Yeah.
last couple of years. So, like, there's different players that could be that. I don't think I would agree that I don't think Bo Nix is franchise, but I think he's good. Like, he's fine.
Playable.
Like, you could probably get to a Super Bowl depending, like, with a good defense. You think of like I don't know how he compares to Brock Purdy, maybe in the same level at some point. Or, and
Yeah.
we've seen lots of quarterbacks, yeah, at this point, like come back.
Well, and he could get better. Like
Yeah, he could get better.
but like he's in a great position other than his receivers. He has a good offensive line.
Yep,
He has a phenomenal defense, so he's going to get good field position often. He
yeah,
does not have to have a lot of pressure. He can just didn't make it work this time, punt it away, try again. Um, like, so you can talk about the fact that now the Raiders had some receivers back that they didn't have against us. Um, so that's fair. But they defense, I don't think is much different than it was against us, and they only put up 10 points on them. Um, which we put up 30 points in 3 quarters. Like it's
mm,
so I mean there's a sense in which they're just not they don't have very good receivers, so that comes back to bite him. Like that makes it hard for him to do great offense, but he's just not excelling based off of how much other support he has. A decent run game, a great offensive line, and a phenomenal defense.
yeah, yeah. So we'll see kind of how that goes. I think the trenches will be important in terms of can we get pressure through that offensive line? Um, can we man up their receivers and do well? I think so. Like I think
Hmm.
Cortland Sutton's pretty good at contested catches, but he doesn't get a lot of separation. Um, you got, yeah. So I don't think there's receivers that really scare us. I assume we'll do a lot of man to man and just try to shut down the run game. It looks like J.K. Dobbins won't be playing.
Hmm.
So it'll be mostly R.J. Harvey, maybe. I mean,
And I
Sean
think
Payton always likes committees, but
and I think that I think they have a couple linebackers out too. I tried to look it up
yeah,
today. So a couple linebackers out. It sounds like we have Taylor's expected to play, and it sounds like Simmons will be back. So our offensive line will hopefully be better, which we really need against this pass rush. Denver's leading the league in sacks, so it might be rough. If our offensive line struggles, we might be in trouble offensively. Um, I kind of expect it to be a low scoring game. I think
okay.
that Denver's going to struggle to move the ball on us because their offense hasn't been great this year. Um, but I definitely foresee us having issues too with that defense and with that pass rush.
Yeah.
So
So, yep, it's gonna be tricky. It's obviously away. So I think that's the only thing I would say in terms of like it's not the end of the world if we lose. It's
mm,
we're losing on the road, and then our next one will be at home. But again, it is, as you said, pretty much ensuring that the Broncos will get the
I think that
win
there's
the
a chance.
conference.
I think there's a chance that the Chargers could still win the conference. I just think that the Chiefs would be kind of out of it because the Chiefs would be like 3.5 games back at that point
Yeah,
on the Broncos. So
yeah.
and be a couple games back on the Chargers, or at least yeah, 1.5 or 2 games.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we
however
we
many.
haven't done well in conference and we haven't done well. I mean, we're 1-2 against our AFC West. So, or I
So
sorry, we
yeah,
would be 1-2. Yeah.
we would be, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty important game because that's also the next tiebreak, right? Is how you do against conference. So also if Jacksonville is the one trying to make the seventh seed, like they are. they have the tiebreak on us. So there's a lot of things that could be go rough if we don't win
Yeah.
the conference. So we'll see. It's a pretty important game, and
Do you think
we'll see.
I'm curious if this is going to be one of those games where like their defense just doesn't matter? Like, I mean, they're good defense. You're saying it's there. I don't know. Like we have a must game win game. We're coming off a bye.
Hmm.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Like, but I mean, when Mahomes is determined, Andy Reid's determined, I don't think there's any team that necessarily shuts us down just because they shut us down. I mean, the question does Mahomes have enough time? Can he trust his offensive line?
Yeah,
Are we healthy enough for him to be able to trust his offensive line? If we have our offensive line, I'm not sure I agree with the low scoring game. I don't think it's going to be like high scoring, but like, I mean, what do you mean by low scoring? Like you're saying like what, 17-10 kind of thing?
I
17-13?
yeah, probably yeah. I feel like we're winning if we get to 28. I think we're in good shape if we get to 21.
Yeah,
That's kind of
I
how
can
I
get that.
feel.
I can get
I
behind
think
that.
I think that if the Broncos win, it'll probably be 17-13 or something like that.
Yeah,
Like our offense just really struggles. Um,
yeah,
I don't foresee the Broncos putting up more than 21 points. Like I expect them to get less than that on
yeah.
our defense because their offense has been struggling. Again, maybe each other. Both goes both ways.
Hmm?
Maybe we know the Broncos defense well enough that we can scheme some stuff open well. Maybe they can scheme some stuff on our defense because they know us well, or maybe it goes the other way. Both the defenses know the offenses too well. I don't know.
Yeah.
Divisional games are crazy. We are favored. We are favored by 3.5 points.
Oh, fun.
So Vegas thinks that we'll
We
win.
got we got this. I mean, Rasheed Rice is a big deal. I think that we didn't talk about that too much, but us not using him more in the second half could have been part of the issue in Buffalo. Um, yeah. Oh, and we didn't talk about the the nice little ref no call in terms of the potential grounding, but sometimes
Oh, the mistake call where they called
yeah,
intentional
mistake
grounding
call.
when they shouldn't have.
Yep.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that last week. Yeah, stuff happens. Uh, it didn't lose us the game.
We
It could
didn't
have been a big deal, but
we didn't
at
pay
the end
him.
of the day, we didn't pay him enough.
Our last check
Missed it.
bounced.
It was hard to see. Like I understand how they missed
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't
There's
like
no
the
problem. And
ball
they
like
can't, it's not
went up.
reviewable.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
kind of dumb,
that's how it
but I
goes.
get why they do it, stuff like that. But it's kind of annoying that it could be like we can see that the right call, we can see the right call, like we have it,
Yeah.
and we just can't change it. Like that's tough.
Yeah.
So
I think the lesson from this is, and this is what I tell my students, look, you can think of it as this big conspiracy, but the reality is the more likely explanation is that people make a lot of mistakes. If
yeah,
you're looking for people to make mistakes, they will. So hopefully we will make less mistakes than the Broncos and Mile High. So,
turnovers might be a big deal because that's one of been Bo Nix's issues, is he's been
yeah.
throwing up some questionable passes. So we can get a couple interceptions. That could be huge.
All right.
Also I think the Broncos lost Patrick Surtain, didn't they?
Yeah.
So
Uh,
that's
it's a big deal. It's a big
it's
deal.
tough.
Well, I think, whatever our final uh conclusion will be going forward, I think we should send a shout out to Russell Wilson as the third quarterback in the Giants rotation. Let's ride.
Chiefs, let's ride. Ride on ride on I don't know. Well, I mean horses, I guess. Let's let's retame those ponies. Let's let's
Let's
retame those
retame those ponies.
Broncos.
Perfect.